Field of 68 after dark. Hello and welcome to the Tuesday evening edition of the Field of 68 After Dark. It is February 10th. My name is Rob Dauster. I am joined tonight by Matt McCall. I'm joined tonight by the legend Tyler Hansbrough. And we have a lot to get to, fellas. It was an unbelievable night of basketball in the Big Ten. We had an OT thriller in Champaign where Wisconsin knocked off the number 8 Fighting Illini, 92-90, coming back from 12 down in the last 4 minutes. Purdue and Nebraska went to overtime, and Purdue was able to outlast them there. We have a potential upset happening right now down there in Fort Worth as TCU is up on Iowa State late in the second half. And we have to make Tyler answer for his Tar Heels, who looked like they were about as hungover as T was after Saturday night's incredible win as they went on the road tonight to Miami and lost, dropped one down there. BYU's back on track. Houston looks like they're rolling. So there's a lot to get to tonight in the world of college hoops. But we're going to start in the Big Ten. We're going to start in Champaign with the Badgers, who, Matt, for the second time this season, go on the road, pick up a win against a top 10 opponent, and put together I don't know if there's a team in college basketball right now, Matt, that has two better road wins than Wisconsin does at Michigan and at Illinois. That is impressive.
It's really impressive. And when you look at it, when Nick Boyd and John Blackwell played at the level that they did tonight, very similar to the way that they played in that road win against Michigan, this team can beat anybody in the country. I mean, Nick Boyd, to me, is a guy that plays the game the right way. He can score. Rob, we saw it, when he was at FAU. Go back to the run that they made to the Final Four. Go back to the run. He was the guy, along with Elijah Martin, that made so many plays. The layup against Memphis in the first round of the NCAA tournament to catapult that team to a Final Four. It's really impressive. And he just plays the game the right way. He gets in the lane. He loves celebrating his teammates' success. Those guys are really, really good. If Blackwell and Boyd played it the way they did tonight, just like they did on the road against Michigan, they can beat anybody in the country. There's no question about
that. Tyler, the backcourt, the performance we saw from them, Nick Boyd, John Blackwell, 49 points combined, 9 assists combined, just a single turnover on the road. That's how you win road games in college basketball. We saw the last couple of weeks, top 5 teams losing on the road to ranked teams. You want to win on the road, you have your guards play like that.
Yeah, and when they're getting, like we talked about, when they have it going like that, Blackwell and Boyd, we know what they're capable of. And Rob, you're right. There's no more impressive team out there that has 2 better road wins than Wisconsin right now. And, watching this game, I thought Wagler had an incredible game, and I felt like Illinois played well. It's just that Wisconsin stepped up. They didn't make turnovers. They didn't beat themselves. They played solid, and Boyd and Blackwell took over at the end, and I really felt like they played, got them that dub in Champaign.
Yeah, it was a big one, and Wisconsin is, they're in the tournament solidly, but they're one of those teams where they're in that kind of 9-10 range, right? Where you drop a couple in a row and all of a sudden you're back in the closer to the cut line. But this is the kind of this is a seed line or 2, Matt. And here's the thing that's dangerous about them. Just big picture with this group. What wins in March? It's guard play, right? It's point guard play. What else wins in March? Guards that have tournament experience. Where has Nick Boyd played before, Matt? In the Final Four. They got a guy here that knows how to win, that could carry them in big moments. There's things that have worried me about this group before, but I think when they hit their highest peak, when those 2 backcourt guys are playing well, when Austin Rapp is making the shots that he's making, they can hang with anyone in college basketball, and they've proven that.
Did you label them a 9 or 10 seed? Did you just give that?
That's what they were.
Is that what you
I'm feeling the 68.
At 9-4 in the Big Ten, 17-7 overall, with wins on the road against the 2 best teams in the Big Ten. They got wins on the road. Can I take over this field in the 68 in the seating, please? Can I have an opinion on this, please?
For context, the 9 seed was before tonight's win. They'll move up here, but I'm not the expert. I take no ownership of this because I'm not good
Who's
at it.
the
I leave it to the
expert?
guys that know what they're
Goodman?
doing.
He's not an expert.
No, absolutely not. There's no way we would ever let Goodman do something like this. Can you imagine Goodman trying to do bracketology?
But can you imagine?
Wait, guys, what's the net again? What's the net again?
Yeah, what's the net again? Can you imagine though if 8-9 game you're playing against Wisconsin and Wisconsin wins, and on the other side of that, in the second round of the NCAA tournament, you're playing against this team with these two guards? That's how good they are. Yeah, I just listen, and so much respect for Greg Gard and the job that he's doing. He's not running, the Bo Ryan, swing offense. No, he's evolved. He's putting his own stamp on this program, and that's what also makes this team so good. And you bring in Boyd, who, Rob, we were down there when they were playing against Charleston, 2 years ago. I mean, these guys were special. We saw what Elijah Martin did last year at the University of Florida. We saw what Vlad Golden did at Michigan last year. Like, these guys have a special bond, and they are also all really, really high character guys. And that's a credit to Dusty May and the job that he did at FAU, bringing these guys in. Nick Boyd plays the game the right way. He knows when to score. He knows when to get out, get in the lane and, spray it out to his teammates. He's always trying to get the crowd into it. He plays with the level of passion. And if him and Blackwell can continue to click and play like they did tonight, just like they did at Michigan, they can beat anybody in the country. And they have proven that.
Yeah, I loved you talk about the way that he kind of talks and the swagger that Nick Boyd has. There was a moment, I guess, after the game where, how it was Jake Davis wig night, that Nick Boyd walked over to the sideline. They gave away free wigs for the guy in Illinois that has all the long hair for the people listening at home. And Nick Boyd, I guess, walked over to the student section and just started yelling, "Take the hair off, letting them know. So he's not afraid to let people know when they find a way to be able to win basketball games. I think, and Tyler, you could probably speak to this. I think what makes them so difficult to guard is that they've really simplified what they do, right? They're not reinventing the wheel. It's like, let's put our best playmakers in ball screen actions. Let's get them going downhill. Let's get them to a point where they're in the paint and let those guys go make a decision when they're in the lane, right? Jump stop, kick the ball out, find a shooter on the perimeter, or score at the basket. It's simple basketball.
Yeah, it's winning basketball. When your team knows how to play a certain style and they simplify it and they don't try to overplay or make hero plays, it always makes the game much easier. And I think that it's a sign of good coaching as well. When you guys know how to be in good position, they know when the screen is coming, they know how to play downhill as well, and they know how to play off of each other. And a lot of these modern basketball, this offensive style that everyone wants to play, a lot of it is a little bit of reading the defense and having the defense dictate what you do, and that's very difficult to understand as a coach or as a player, especially in college, as you're still trying to grow your knowledge of the game. But I think this says a lot about Greg Gard and how he's coaching this team. And if these two players get in the zone and they know how to maximize their abilities, this is going to be a tough team for anybody and a scary team come tournament time.
All right, real quick, I want both of you guys to answer. T, I'll go to you first. Wisconsin's upside in the tournament is?
Sweet 16.
McCall?
I would say the same. And my only concern is just if one of those two guys don't play well, who's stepping up? Like who can step into that role of if John Blackwell doesn't have a good game? The games that they've won, the difficult games that they've won, both those guys have played at such a high level. But you know that you have a bad night, you have an off night, you have a bad game. So if one of the two of them have that, oof. I'll say Sweet 16 is definitely the ceiling. I don't know if they can get. I don't know if they can get past that.
I'll give you one more. I think I can see an Elite Eight, but I think second weekend is the ceiling. I think it's also a situation where like you win a game in the tournament if you're Wisconsin, and that is a good spot to be in. Then you're playing with house money once you get past that. But I will say, with how good those guards are, if I am a 2 seed and I see Wisconsin bracketed as the 7 in my region, I'm not happy about it. All right, I do want to flip to Illinois here real quick. They've lost a couple in a row here, McCall. You lose at Michigan State in overtime. There's no shame in that. You lose at home to Wisconsin in a game where you blew a 12-point lead. I think that's one where Brad Underwood is kind of, he's going to go back and watch this film. He's going to be frustrated. He's going to be upset with some of the defensive effort. And I said this on After Dark on Saturday, and I think it's true again tonight. I think we are seeing the impact of not having Kai Boswell these last 2 games because of the way that the backcourt was able to get going. Jeremy Fears had 26 and 15. Tonight, the backcourt, 49 points, 9 assists, just a single turnover. It doesn't go down that easy if Kai Boswell's on the floor.
That's the only reason I'm not concerned is because of that. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he can get back out there soon because they're a different team. He's their leader. He's their heart and soul. The way that he defends, the way that he impacts the game in so many different ways. I do think playing without him has made them better in a sense of like when he gets back out there on the floor. But he's such a winner. And you mentioned it earlier just in terms of North Carolina being hungover a little bit. When you lose a game the way they did on Saturday and you don't have that extra day to prepare, like you don't play on Wednesday, you have to play, on Tuesday. That means you're back in the lab on Sunday and Monday. Tyler knows this. It's hard. It's hard. And, to think that the way they've lost these 2 games, both by 1 possession, I think it says more about the teams that they're playing against and less about them. But Boswell, for them to get to a Final Four and have a chance to win a national championship, he has to be back out there. And when he does, when you see everybody else and how they've elevated their level of play, I think this stretch is going to only make them better. So I'm not worried about Illinois. I think it says more about the 2 teams that they played against in these 2 games.
Yep. They were also out without Stojakovic tonight, Andre Stojakovic, Tyler. And they only went 6 deep. Mihaila Petrovic, some of these other guys, Brandon Lee, are not playing minutes off the bench. And you're asking these guys in the middle of February, at this point in the season, to play some of them 43, 44 minutes. It's a big ask on those legs. I know in the past, Tyler, you've been an anti-Illinois guy. I think this year, because, and here's my theory, you saw that they had 2 7-footers that they play a couple of times. You saw some big guys on the floor. You saw these big physical bodies. I think you're back in on Illinois. Is that right? What do you make of this group kind of big picture beyond the 2 losses? Where do you see this team kind of going during the tournament?
It had nothing to do with Illinois, the team. It was more the fan base and some of the comments. So that had a lot to do with Illinois. But I think McCall hit it on. Boswell, I think he brings an aspect of toughness and grit to this team that really helps you get these wins against these Wisconsins, against these guys that have, or these teams that have these strong guard play. And when we're talking about Illinois, the Wagler kid, he can get you a bucket anytime. And I think this is crazy. He had a hell of a game tonight. 34 points. And I'm watching the game. I don't think he's aggressive enough sometimes. Late in the game when they ran that action, I felt like he should have been taking that shot.
Yeah, he's definitely earned the right to be able to take that shot. We're joined now by a guest, the guy that had 24 points tonight, 25 points, excuse me, Nick Boyd, fresh off of an overtime victory. Nick, it's great to see you, man. It's great to have you back on here. Congratulations on the win. You guys were down by 12 with about 4 minutes left in this game. What was it that kind of – what are you guys saying in the huddle to kind of get back into this game?
Yeah, I don't know if my connection's good, but thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure, to be on the show. But yeah, in that huddle, man, it was just talking to each other. I feel like that's where we came along the most this year. You know, like early on in the season, those huddles, you know, weren't as positive. We were a little bit more pointing fingers and just trying to work through things. Where now, you know, we're really solving things and encouraging and saying positive things more than anything, and just, you know, making sure, you know, we all know that we have each other's back. So down the stretch, that's all we were saying, like, yo, keep fighting, keep fighting. One more stop and they might lay down. And ultimately, you know, falling, we want to.
Go ahead, Matt.
Nick, what's up, man? First of all, congratulations. It's great to see you again. Great win. Think about your journey here to Wisconsin. When you go back to your time at FAU, San Diego State, and now you're at Wisconsin, do you speak to your team at all just on your experience? Just because you've been there, man. You've gotten to a Final Four, and you're a huge piece of that. When you get in these moments with this group, do you talk about that and lean on your leadership in terms of that?
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I feel like the most, especially at San Diego State last year. I was around a young group, and it kind of, you know, it was on my shoulders in terms of just having us, you know, mentally ready, making sure we're locked in every single day. So, I developed that skill, and I try to bring that here. But you know, we have great leaders, you know, here already before I even got here. You know, John Blackwell, Nolan Winter, guys who've been through in the program, for a pretty long time. So, you know, at the same time, I'm listening to them, and they're guiding me as well as, you know, me putting my 2 cents or input when the time is right.
Hey, Nick, great win tonight. My question for you is, how do you build momentum off these big wins like Michigan and Illinois? Or do you guys need a little bit of confidence or momentum, or is it make you more hungry to prove that you're a team to be recognized?
Yeah, I mean, sorry about that. I'm on the bus. They turning up. They turning up in here.
No, there's
Big
nothing
win,
better.
baby. Big
There's
win.
nothing better than
We
the
turning
Okay,
that up
man.
right now.
nothing better.
Hey, we turning it up right now on the bus.
If
Let's
it was
go.
silent
My
in
team, we
there after
turning it up
winning
right
at
now.
Illinois in overtime, we'd have a problem. We would question your leadership if
Oh,
you were
man.
quiet on that bus after winning at Illinois in overtime, okay?
My apologies. We turning it up a little bit, but back to your question, man. Yeah, I mean, no doubt. You know, we just build a momentum, and I feel like, you know, throughout this whole 2026, we've been a different team. Just our focus, our togetherness, and just our trust on the defensive end in terms of, you know, making plays and flying around. So, you know, I feel like a couple games we should have dropped in this 2026 stretch that we shouldn't have, and ultimately we was able to make it up a little bit with a big win on the road.
All right, Nick, last one I got for you, then we'll let you go turn up with your teammates. We just talked about this here on the show. We said that when you guys get to the tournament, you are the kind of team that we would not want to see because you got vets
Yeah.
and you got guards that are a problem to deal with. What do you think makes you guys dangerous when it comes to playing? I mean, you've won at Michigan, you've won at Illinois, you've beaten two of the
Yeah.
best teams in the country in their own building. What do you guys think makes you so dangerous?
Man, that three ball, I mean, it kind of reminds me of my FAU team. Like when we got hot, it didn't matter, you know, who we was playing. And as we continue to build this chemistry on defense and have each other's back, it really reminds me of my FAU team that, you know, stretched the floor out, had guys that could all put it on the floor. And when we got hot, it wasn't about if we were winning, it was about how much we were winning. And that carried us throughout the March Madness. So, yeah, I think we got a special group because of that offense. I mean, as much as we say defense, you know, wins games. In that March Madness tournament, you got to make some shots and make some plays. And we got guys who can do that all on the court.
Well, Nick, we appreciate you being here, man. I just got to let you know, Jeff
My boy
Goodman,
Matt,
3
too.
times
That's my
during
boy
this
right there.
interview. He texted me 3 times. He said, make sure you tell Nick I said hello. Tell Nick I said hello. Make sure you tell Nick I said hello.
Jeff,
So
that's my
Jeff
guy.
Goodman wanted me to tell you hello.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'll never forget, you know, Matt coming out there in FAU. He was at a lot of practices, so he know what the journey looked like. And yeah, man, I'm trying to end it right. Shit, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, you got it, man.
There it is. Listen, Nick, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for being on
rolling,
here.
We hungry.
Go
We
turn
hungry.
up,
Them
Nick.
Badgers.
Go turn up.
Hey,
Roll,
them
man.
Badgers hungry
Go
though.
turn up on a bus.
Them Badgers
There's
hungry.
nothing better than a
So I'm
bus
gonna
after
leave it
a
like
win.
that.
Nothing better.
I mean, it's midnight. It's midnight, but we ain't sleeping. We up.
Thanks, Nick. Go celebrate, man. He's the best. He is the absolute best. And great win for
you
them.
know,
Really
Rob,
happy for
the
those
thing, like him,
Wisconsin.
like deflecting to Blackwell. Like Blackwell hasn't been where he's been. but he knows that Blackwell has been at Wisconsin and has a tremendous amount of success. Like, that's a good teammate. Like, he has not been to the Final Four, and he deflects to him. He's just all about the right things. You hear him talk, and and Tyler knows this, when you get on that bus after a huge win, man, there is nothing better. Probably some pizza somewhere, maybe some Chick-fil-A. There's nothing better. Celebrate the win. Good for those guys. What a win.
All right, listen, we're going to hit a quick break here. On the other side, we'll talk about Purdue's win. We'll talk about Nebraska, and we got a lot more to get to, man. We got to make sure that Tyler answers for North Carolina here. So we'll do all that on the other side of this break. As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. If you're not a member of the Field of 68's On3 community, make sure to go check us out. Get access to all of Jeff Goodman and Rob Dauster's written content, including coaching carousel breakdowns, info on who is and isn't entering the transfer portal, insider recruiting information from none other than Joe Tipton, X's and O's analysis of all the teams in college basketball, and access to our message board community. A 7-day trial costs you $1. The Field of 68 on 3. Get the scoop.
Welcome back in. We lost Rob Dauster, but that's okay. We don't need him anymore. We don't need him. We don't need him. Me and Tyler can run the show. I can host the show. That's what we can do. Tyler, let's shift gears a little bit here, and we'll keep it in the Big Ten. Your take on Purdue and how they look tonight in that matchup. For me, I said this earlier on SiriusXM. If Purdue's able to win this game, they can be back in the category in terms of the top teams in the Big Ten. And we could probably put them back in the category of a team that can win the national championship. And they handled their business. Fletcher Lawyer took a ton of threes, but he made 4 of them. Trey Kaufman-Rim was terrific. Braden Smith was terrific. Tyler, are you with me in terms of they are back in the conversation of a team that can win the national championship this year?
No, I'm not there with you. I think they need a little more consistency. They almost tricked this game. If Nebraska could rebound a little bit and dominate the paint, I think they get a dub against Purdue. And Nebraska's my squad. I love the way they play. But the difference to me tonight in this game was the ability for Purdue to make plays when they needed to make plays down the stretch, and they dominated the post. I thought Clef down the stretch got a lot of big rebounds for him when he had that and one. That was kind of a dagger. But, Purdue didn't really close this one out. They blew a substantial lead in the second half. They let Nebraska back in it. That's not what contending teams do come tournament time. When they have a team down, they step on their throat. And I know it's tough on the road in conference play, but to me, this says a lot about Nebraska, their ability to fight back from a big lead against a team like Purdue. I just wish they would have rebounded a little bit down the stretch and controlled the paint a little bit better, and I think they get a win there.
Yeah. First of all, Matt, shout out for jumping in there and taking over those hosting duties for about 20 seconds there. You crushed it. Clearly not your first rodeo. You've been here before.
No.
Next man up mentality here. I thought that this matchup, I said at the earlier today in a preview with Goodman that I thought that Purdue would win this game because I think the matchup is advantageous for them. because Nebraska's going to put 2 on the ball. And then I thought that they would be able to hit those short rolls and kind of whip the ball around. I thought it was really impressive, especially in the first half, how quickly the ball moved for Purdue, Matt. Like, it was going side to side. There was no dribbles. They weren't hesitating. The whole thing with Nebraska's defense is they want to keep the ball on one side of the floor. And if you can swing it quickly, you're going to get open looks. And I thought early on Purdue was making those looks. And then they went for a stretch in the middle of the game, late second half, late first half, early second half, where they couldn't get one to go down. And then late in the game, Jack Benter hit a big one. CJ Cox hit 2 big ones. And if they would have made their free throws, this game would have never gotten to overtime. 11 for 20 from the line is not going to find a way to get it done. But I thought this was a sign that both of these teams are really capable, Matt. I'm in on both of them.
Yeah, I feel like a win like this for Purdue can almost catapult them. Like the momentum of winning on the road, winning the way they did, only shooting 28% from the three-point line. I just feel like you can build off this. Like, going into the next game, going into the rest of the season, you're the preseason #1 team in the country. So the expectations are the hardest thing to deal with in sports. And Tyler knows that better than any of us on this call right now. Like, it's the hardest thing to deal with in sports. They get a big one next week on Tuesday at home against Michigan. But they get Iowa on the road this weekend. If they're able to win that game, and I'm going to the game in Mackey next weekend for NBC. I can't wait to be there. I just feel like a win like this on the road against a very, very good Nebraska team that is a second weekend team in the NCAA tournament. It's like, okay, this is where it turns for Purdue. This is where it goes back to preseason #1 in the country. Braden Smith being healthy. We know he knocked knees in that game against USC. Has he been fully healthy? Fletcher Lawyer leads their team in shot attempts today. I mean, 20 shots. Seems like a lot of shots. 17 threes. Man, I mean, that's unbelievable that he even got 17 threes off. But a win like this, man, it can turn you.
And you know what it was? You know what it was, Matt?
Direction.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't just the win, right? Like, they built this big lead and they blew the lead.
Yeah.
Like, they were up 14.
And found a way to win.
42 seconds.
Think about if they lost this game.
Lead. Yeah, they gave it all away.
They can go the other way.
Yeah, and then they were up by 5 in OT, and they gave that away, and they found a way to win. And when you look at what's coming up with their upcoming schedule, put everything into context for the Purdue season, right? They had just lost 3 in a row, and their bounce-back wins were at Maryland, which, like, Maryland's clearly packed it in for the season, and then an ugly one at home against Oregon, right? And you go on the road today. You lose this game. Here's what you got coming next. At Iowa Saturday, Michigan home Tuesday, Indiana rematch of the rivalry next Friday, and then Michigan State at home on Fifth. Like, you lose this one, and it could have spiraled. And they found a way.
I think we lost Rob again. Do I have to take over the hosting duties again? We lost him again. But Tyler, don't you feel like a win like this can shift them when it wasn't going well? And to Rob's point, look at their schedule coming up. Can this shift them and get them in a direction that's super positive to get to an Elite Eight?
You know, my issue with giving Purdue confidence or momentum is this is an experienced team, and when you have vets like Fletcher Lawyer, Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman-Wren, those are veteran players, and for me, you shouldn't. You know, when you've had some years, you don't need big time wins to really get momentum and confidence. You should have it. And I know that, you know, being the preseason #1 ranked team in the country comes with a lot of expectations, and they really don't have, you know, any bad losses, but they've been a little too inconsistent. And Fletcher Lawyer to go 4 for 17, I mean, good God. I mean, how many threes can you get up? No, I mean, I never passed it, and I didn't get 17 or 20 shots up. And those are threes. You know, the one thing I will say is I do like Clef. I think he dominated down low, and I think, you know, the one thing that I take away is they dominated the interior, and they out rebounded Nebraska by a substantial amount. I think it was 54-38, which is a big deal to me. I know that everyone wants to tout guard play and they want to hype them up. I think rebounding wins games, and I think that has a lot to do with Michigan State's tournament success. Rebounding and playing physical and playing hard defense, to me, wins. And, you know, I think that Purdue dominated one area of the game that dictates winning, and they controlled the interior, and they rebounded, and they got second chance looks, and that gave them big buckets down the stretch. And they were able to close out defensive possessions with a rebound and go to the other end. And whenever you dominate somebody on the offensive rebounding, you get that more of an opportunity. You get more shots and more chances to score, which in, you know, the long run of things, you know, analytically, that's going to play out in your favor.
All right, Rob, I'm taking over the show, by the way, just so you know.
It's your world, man. I'm just living in it.
I'm the host now. I'm the captain now. Tyler, let's shift gears to your Tar Heels, to the ACC. And you know, as a player, when you have a win like you did over the weekend, you're very concerned on a quick turnaround. Sunday, probably didn't do much practicing. Monday, had a good practice, then had to jump on an airplane and fly to Miami. For me, I think this win for Miami says a lot more about them than the loss for UNC. I think the job that Jay Lucas is doing this year is really impressive. He's got this team at 19-5, 8-3 in the league. What a first-year job for a coach that took over a program that wasn't in a good place when he took it over last year. You know, RIP Bill Courtney. Jim Larinaga leaves in the middle of the season. I mean, it was a difficult situation to take over, and he's got this team at 19-5 and 8-3 in the ACC. So for me, I'm not surprised that Carolina didn't play well in the game, everything that transpired over the weekend, but I think it says way more about the job that Jay Lucas is doing this year in his first year as a head coach at Miami.
Yeah, and you're right. Ja's done an unbelievable job at Miami, and hell, they're a better team than probably a lot of people realize. This says a lot about Miami, and to me, it also says a lot about North Carolina. Be more consistent. If you want to be a team that is a contender and being taken seriously, you can't have these letdowns. And you saw it when they took the California trip. They lost 2 games out there, kind of a head scratcher. And, you know, the way that they played defense tonight is the reason why they've lost these games. When you play Olay defense and, you know, you're just not in help side, defense isn't engaged, and you're not playing one-on-one defense. You're not guarding your man, keeping the ball in front of you. You're letting Miami get quality looks, layups, and dunks. That was the whole thing to me. I felt like they controlled the interior. They're getting high-quality shots. And anytime we got in the half-court sets, I thought we were a little stagnant. I felt like we held on to the ball. We kind of passed, looked around, waited for, you know, an action to happen, and then the same situation once we reversed the ball. But this whole game came down to not playing defense, not getting rebounds, and Miami just controlling the interior, getting what they wanted offensively, and dominating inside.
I thought the guard play was an issue too. You know, that's a question that we've had for much of the season. And I thought that it looked a little bit like it was answered. And you know, I thought that the fact that the way that Carolina won at or against Duke was with Derek Dixon finding Seth Trimble in the corner was a little bit of like, hey, look, this problem has been fixed. Derek Dixon tonight, 1 for 9 from the floor, 0 for 9 from 3. 4 turnovers. Seth Trimble tonight, 0 for 5 from the floor, 0 for 3 from 3. They combined for 6 points. That you're not going to win on the road if your guards are doing it. Compare that to what Wisconsin's guards did tonight, and I think that shows you the difference right there.
No, I agree. They've got to be more consistent, and that's kind of been what you talked about all year. That's been a big question mark. But the one positive tonight, I thought Kyan Evans came in off the bench and showed some good minutes, and I thought Powell stepped up, hit some big shots early on. But you're right, you got to be more consistent. And I know Dixon's a freshman, and he's got to, he's going to have some freshman moment. He's not, he's not that talented to where you can just kind of roll the ball out, and he's going to have some learning curves. But overall, Dixon has been improving and stepping up in big moments, but tonight it just wasn't there. And, had a lot to do with Miami playing wells and playing tough physical. I mean, the other thing you got to think about is anytime we went inside, Uday, he dominated. I mean, it wasn't easy for us once we got inside with our guards. I mean, they were met with physicality at the rim. They were met with length, and they were met with athleticism, and it overwhelmed them.
Talk about finding the right home too in the transfer portal. Like everybody jumps in the portal. Like, let me go here. We're seeing it right now with Elliot Cadeau going to Michigan, but Malik Renew. Like, are you kidding me? Leaving Indiana and coming to this Miami program, and he's getting 20 points per game, over 6 rebounds per game. He had a double-double in this one. Like, that's what's good about the transfer portal, when guys find the right spot and they develop and they grow and they get better in the spot that they are. I mean, this guy is playing at a ridiculous level. And I'm going to say it again. First-year head coach, never been a head coach before, taking it over an ACC job. I know he's been an assistant coach at high-level programs like Texas, like Kentucky, like Duke. But this is a different animal. Like, you're sliding over that seat. The job that Jay Lucas is doing is really impressive, and credit him and the way that this team's playing, and Malik Renew, finding the right spot.
And they're like, as of today, they're dancing. This is the one that gets them on the right side of the bubble. They were the first team out.
They're 19-5.
They were according to our bracketologist, who Matt McCall
Can I be in charge of bracketology for the Field 68, please? Can I,
you're in charge of hosting this show. You're in charge of bracketology. You are in charge of
whatever you and Goodman are getting paid. I'm taking half your salary.
That's done. It ain't gonna help you that much. But the fact that you win this game, this is a game changer for them when it comes to your ability to get a bid to the dance. Like, this puts them on the right side of the bubble, and I do believe that they will be able to do enough here the rest of the season to make sure that this is not the last time that they have a good win. Right, here's what they got left on their schedule: at NC State. That looks really good if you can get that win. Virginia Tech, at Virginia, at Florida State, BC, at SMU, and Louisville. Like, you got 3 or 4 more chances to really put together a quality resume here, but you needed this one, too. You needed this one if you were Miami. What is, I guess, when it comes to the North Carolina side, and I'm curious for both of you guys, and I can weigh in too, but I said earlier today that I still think Carolina is a team that can make the Final Four. And I also think that Carolina is a team that if you told me they were a 5 seed on Selection Sunday and they lost to St. Louis in the first round, I could probably see that thing happening too. Like, I feel like this team has as big of a gap between what they are when they are at their best and what they are when they are at their worst as anybody in the country, T.
I agree with that statement. And it's kind of scary because you see the potential with Caleb Love, and you see kind of Derek Dixon's, potential and moments as well. And you see some flashes from this team. And, the worrisome part is, that nobody expected that second half in Duke. They were pretty worried after watching that first half. And there's been some games where they just haven't been able to put 40 minutes together. They've had big moments where they've kind of stalled and they've got content. They've had leads. They kind of blown. And then, this is This is a year where we beat Kentucky, we beat Kansas, and we beat Duke. I'm not sure how many seasons we've done that in the same season. So you know what this team is capable of, as far as their ceiling, but also, their floor is pretty scary as well. It's not that, they have the ability to, trick some games off. And and they're young. So for me, if I'm going to be confident what this team needs to do to really make a deep tournament run, I think they've got to find ways to really get Caleb involved more and to get easy buckets. I think if you watch some of the games, especially watch that first half against Duke, he was hitting hero shot after hero shot. He was delivering. He kept them in the game. And, you've got to find ways in your half-court sets to get him better looks and get him looks to where the double team isn't, capable of getting there, whether that's a deep seal in the paint where he can go to work real quick, where the double team doesn't have time to get there. I think Caleb's got to play well. I think you got to figure out how to get him easy buckets. I think Henry Vasar is going to have to play tough and use his length and have some of those big games like he had early on in the year. And I think Derek Dixon's going to have to step up and be consistent. That's what's really going to dictate this team and their success. I think they've got pieces. They have depth, and they've shown the capability of being a really good team.
McCall?
How dare you give St. Louis a 12 seed? Like, how dare you? Like, if Carolina is playing St. Louis in a 5-12 matchup, are you kidding me? St. Louis is a 12 seed? Rob, have you watched them play? Do you watch basketball? Have you seen them play?
I can't win. I can't win tonight.
Yes. Just give me your job.
You're right. There's 7 seed. I'll take the L.
A 12?
Okay. I'll take the L. Yeah, you're right. I'll take the L. Give me all the L's. I'll take the L on that.
Tyler had the exact breakdown of Carolina, where they can get to, everything. I'm not even going to go into that. But the fact that you said St. Louis is a 12, we're moving on. Next subject.
Moving on. Duke blew out Pitt tonight. It was a little bounce back that I think they needed McCall. And here's my thing with Duke, and it's kind of been my thing with Duke all season long, is that I think that the only thing that is keeping me from putting them in that same tier as Arizona and Michigan is I think that they are just a little bit too one-dimensional when it comes to crunch time. If you can find a way to make it difficult for Carlos Boozer, for Cameron Boozer in late game possessions, then you are going to find a way to be able to handle them in crunch time. That's a much more difficult thing to do than it is to say. It's more complicated in practice than it is in theory, but we've seen it happen twice. We saw Carolina do it in the last 7 minutes, and we saw Texas Tech do it in the last 12 minutes. And beyond that, it hasn't really happened. But if you can do that to Duke, then you can limit them a little bit. And that's the only reason why I hesitate to put them in the very highest tier of college basketball this season.
Yeah, I mean, go back to last year. I mean, maybe the best, most talented team not to win a national championship. And the job that John Shire's doing is unbelievable when you really think about it. My only concern with this team is just the depth. Do they have enough depth? Isaiah Evans had a great game today. They took care of business against a Pittsburgh team that's really struggling when you think about it. But losing the game the way they did the other night, to have to come back and play on Tuesday and find a way to win that game on the road the way that they did is impressive. My only concern is, and Rob, I agree with you, just being one-dimensional. I don't even know if it's that. It's like somebody goes down, someone's not feeling good. Like last year when Cooper Flagg was dealing with the injuries in the ACC tournament, you knew they still had enough talent. They still had other guys that were very good NBA players that were going to push them to victory if he wasn't out there, and he ultimately ended up playing in the first round of the NCAA tournament. But that's my only concern. I think the job John Shire's doing is unbelievable when you think of the situation he walked into taking over for Coach K. And last year's team, is a possession away from playing for it all. And who knows if they did play for it all, would they have won it? But the depth is my only concern with this Duke team.
Tyler?
I've got to be honest. I'm a little concerned sometimes with their point guard play. And if Foster, if he's going to step up, I have a little concern there. But if I'm being honest, Duke is the top. They're in the top tier. I consider them a contender. I think their defense in the half court is just too good. I think they're one of the best defensive teams in the country. I think the way that they shrink the court and their length, I think is incredible. And I know that they, kind of slipped in the crunch time, especially against Carolina. Thank God they did. But I consider Duke a contender. They've just been so consistent all year. They have the weapons. They have guys, I think, that if they were on different teams, they would be putting up ridiculous numbers. I think the Sarr kid, he had a big first half against Carolina. He's capable. Isaiah Evans can get it going for a big night. And then you have Boozer. And I just think they can score so many different ways, and their defense sets them apart from a lot of teams. They're a scary team.
Yeah, I agree. And for clarity, I think we all agree, just for the Duke fans that are going to come in here and they're going to yell at us and say that we're Duke haters. What we're talking about is the difference between being a top 1, 2/3 team and a top 5 to 7 team in college basketball.
Winning it all.
We all agree.
Winning it all.
I think we all agree they're capable of making a Final Four. But there's differences between why we think that two teams are better than them and why they're a little bit of a step below. So I just wanted to get that context out there before I opened up my Twitter app and I saw 37 people with Duke handles yelling at me about Lord knows what, because I get that a lot. Listen, I do. I gotta stop looking at my mentions. I spend too much time on my mentions. When we get back, we got to take a break. When we get back, we got to talk about what happened to the Big 12 tonight, because BYU righted the ship. They went on the road to Baylor and they won 99-94. And in the process, Iowa State, they did not win on the road. They go to TCU and they dropped one. A top 5 team in the country lost again today on the road. Happens quite a bit here in college basketball. All that coming up next. As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app. You sign up using bonus code FIELD. You deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
Are you trying to follow everything happening in college basketball? It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for recruiting news, game analysis, portal updates, and much, much more. For just $50 a year, you get access to the same information that your favorite coaching staff is subscribed to. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help. Make sure you subscribe today.
We are back, Field of 68 After Dark. Rob Dauster, Matt McCall, Tyler Hansbrough. Let's start with Iowa State in the Big 12, Matt. Go on the road to TCU. They had a little bit of a lead early on, but they ended up dropping this one 62-55. Only put up 55 points on the road to TCU. Does this say more about TCU being a tournament caliber team, or where do you stand on Iowa State?
I think it's another game where they've struggled offensively. As good as they've been defensively, like if you hold a team to 62 points, and they've been going into Big 12 play, they were top 5 in offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency in the entire country. But the offense in Big 12 play has struggled. So there's some concerns. There's no question about it. And this is another game where they struggled to score. You go back to that Baylor game they had early in January. I think they scored 23 points in the first half. We saw what happened against a struggling Cincinnati team. So this is when Momcilovic shoots it well from behind the perimeter. Generally, they play well. Lipsy, goes 0 for 3 from behind the three-point line tonight. But the offense has been the issue for this Iowa State team since Big 12 play has started. I think it says more about them. Like, they have to figure that out, because if you hold a team to 62 points, as talented as you are, as the number 5 team in the country, you think you're going to win. And they didn't score enough to win. They did not put the ball through the basket enough to win today. So I think it says more about them. And sometimes they get so stagnant on the offensive end of the floor.
I'll tell you what, T. I think a lot of what we think of Iowa State right now is a result of going into Mackey and beating Purdue the way they beat Purdue.
Yes.
And Purdue looks like they might be a little bit more flawed than we realized at the time. And I know that coming into this, Iowa State was 8-2 in the Big 12. Here's their wins that they've had so far in the Big 12. They beat West Virginia, Baylor, Oklahoma State, UCF, Oklahoma State again, Colorado, Kansas State, and Baylor again. They still have not beat one of the top teams in this conference. They lost at Kansas by 21. They lost at Cincinnati, and now they've lost at TCU. And here's what they got coming up next. Kansas at home, Houston at home in the span of 3 days. You're at BYU, you're at Utah, Texas Tech at home, at Arizona. Like, you could very easily lose 3 or 4 of those next 6 games. And I think this is where we're going to find. Yes. This is where we're going to find out. This
March 2nd.
T, that's going to – I mean, look, I would love to be in the building for that one. But, T, this is when we're going to find out who Iowa State really is. If you are what we thought you were after you beat Purdue, you're going to win. You'll go 5-1 in this stretch. If you're not, I don't know.
I believe in Iowa State. I think McCall's right. They struggle with scoring, but we know who they are. I mean, this isn't a batch of new guys. Taman Lipsey's been there for a while. Joshua Jefferson's been there for a while. These are guys who have been on this team and they've proven themselves. They just had a bad game, and Momcilovic had an off night. He didn't shoot the ball well, and they struggled scoring. And that's what happens every once in a while in conference play. And I hate to sound it like that. You got to learn from your losses. But I'm not worried about Iowa State. They have veteran players. They play hard-nosed defense, and they will figure it out. And like you said, I think there's going to be some great opportunities. I think they're going to walk away with some big wins here in their upcoming schedule.
Yep. McCall, to your point, I just saw a stat get tweeted out. In Iowa State's last 2 losses, Momcilovic was 2 for 12 from 3 at TCU and 1 for 7 from 3 at Cincinnati. So it's almost like those 2 things are connected. Real quick, we got about 4 minutes before we're done on Sirius XM here. I do want to hit on BYU real quick. A 99-94 win at Baylor. There's been a lot of questions, McCall, about this BYU team. AJ DeBonsa, 36 points on 14 for 20 shooting, 5 boards, 7 assists, 1 turnover. You could have all the problems you want in the world if you're BYU. If AJ is going to go like that, it doesn't matter at all. You're winning that basketball game.
Can we stop, even considering taking Darren Peterson over him? Can we stop, please? Can we stop? I'm taking Caleb Wilson over him. I'm taking AJ DeBonsa over him 1,000%. I may even take Cam Boozer over him. Because guess what? Those guys are going to be in the game. They're not pulling themselves out for a sniffle. Sorry. Get off my show.
I just want to know. Hold on, real quick. Since you went there, T, I want to know if you were on the bench and you had a star freshman come in and pull himself out of the game for the sniffles. Well,
when he's in the warm-up line,
how would you handle that as a player?
Man, it'd be frustrating, but you know what? I don't know what to say about it. I mean, you talk about my all-freshman team. I let them off because you've got to play a certain amount of games to make my all-freshman team, and he just hasn't done it.
Yes, darn right. Yes.
There you are.
Yes.
All right. Purdue getting
This
back on
BYU
track.
is dangerous. I know we only got 2 minutes. We got to go to the afters, and I'll take over the hosting duties in the afters as well. Robert Wright, Richie Saunders, AJ DeBonza, that three-headed monster is unbelievable. AJ, what he did last night, he continues to play the game right. 7 assists, Rob. Like 7 assists. As talented as he is. And that's what's so impressive about some of these freshmen. They're so unselfish, too. I mean, good win, needed to get back on track. Obviously, Baylor's not the Baylor that we're used to seeing. Tunde Yesufu was terrific. Great to see another talented freshman. Had 37 last night, but yeah, like that. The question of who's the number one draft pick, that's over. So
BYU's defensive issues did not get solved. They gave up 94 points, which is not ideal to a Baylor team that is in the bottom half of offensive efficiency in the Big 12. So you're gonna have to solve those problems. Kevin Young, like, you can score. We know you can score, Kevin Young. You're gonna have to figure out what's going on defensively if you want to be able to find a way to make a run here in the NCAA tournament. We got about a minute and a half left here. Let's get to toast of the night. McCall, I'll go to you first. Who are we toasting? Who are we celebrating? Where are you sending your toast of the night?
Oh man, why do you always have to go to me first?
All right, we'll switch it up. Tyler, who you got? Who are we toasting?
Tanner Toolson from TCU. He had 17 points, 9 boards, 10 of them from the free throw line. Got to give him a little shout out. Big win for them tonight.
There you go. Cheers. Tanner Toolson. There you go. 17 points. Off the bench, too, T. Off the bench.
Off the bench, man. It's hard to
Big
do.
Guy coming off the bench. There you go. McCall, you got one for us? You done your research?
I'm going to go GW. Big win at home. Chris Caputo knocking off the Rhode Island Rams 75-70. Coach Caputo continues to do a good job with that program. They play hard. They play the right way. So give me the Revolutionaries from GW.
Yeah, the Revolutionaries, they needed that one because Caputo's reminded me multiple times they are right now the unluckiest team on KenPom, according to that database. So, and that doesn't even factor in Rafael Castro being out. My toast tonight's got to go the big fella Oscar Clough. It's got to go to Purdue. They blew a lead, and they came back and won. And I think that's the hardest thing to do in college basketball. Oscar Clough at the game-winning layup there. So shout out to Purdue. And it's not just selfish because I want them to be hitting a stride when we go see them against Michigan. McCall. For Matt McCall, for Tyler Hansbrough, my name is Rob Dauster. Join us over on YouTube for the afters. We'll be answering all of your questions.
These my DJ Burns sayings I had for
That was like taking them into the depths of Alaska and just dropping them off.
The first person that's gonna die gotta be one of the black guys. We're not gonna make it to the end of the movie.
That's like asking somebody, do they want to get a prostate exam or a damn gunshot wound?
Welcome to the afters here on the Field of 68 After Dark, where Matt McCall and I were just swapping war stories of what it's like to be a dad when your kids got whatever this stomach bug that's going around. Listen, for you people that are not dads yet, or they're not moms yet, or not parents yet, like just understand, like there's things you're gonna have to do when it comes to that for your kids that you never thought that you would ever.
Rob, have you been popping the apple cider vinegar? Have you been popping it?
No, I had it first. So I had it over the weekend, and I didn't get the stomach bug.
You
but I
gave
had,
it to your kids.
I came from the basketball. Every single kid on our basketball team has had it, dude. I did After Dark on Saturday night with a 104 fever, and I didn't know that I had a fever. I didn't know until the next morning when I woke up.
Tougher than Darren Peterson. You're so much tougher.
It was rough, man. It's a war zone over here right now. T's just sitting over there like, yeah, whatever you guys are doing, like that's why I'm sitting over here living the life that I'm living right now, fellas. All right, Dagan, what do we got? What do we got in the chat? What do we got for questions?
Chat, get your questions in. We have a few trickling in, but I want to hit on one game we didn't get a chance to hit on. That's Vanderbilt's 8-point win over Auburn today.
Go ahead, McCall.
Yeah, I mean, this Vanderbilt team, still in the top 25, scored 42 points in the first half. A second weekend team for sure. Stephen Pearl, this is not an easy situation that he's walking into. It's a great situation, but it's not an easy situation. And you can see it sometimes when he's coaching, in up pacing up and down on the sidelines, he's putting his heart and soul into this. But, you think about this, Tyler Tanner, I think Tommy Houck is the SEC Player of the Year. Ruben Shinleyu maybe second, but, Tyler Tanner's got to be in that same conversation. So great win for Vanderbilt. Auburn continuing to try and figure out who they are. They've had some unbelievable wins. But Vanderbilt needed this one, especially coming off that loss to Oklahoma, who's in the bottom, 3-4 teams in the SEC. So great win for Vanderbilt, no question.
Yeah, and it felt like one they kind of needed. This team is we've been criticizing them for their size and for their length and for that athleticism. We've had question marks about them. We've doubted them, and they just lost one at home to Oklahoma. And to be able to get out of it, they threw the first punch. They got up early. Your boy Jalen Washington had a good game too. I looked up early, and he had knocked down a couple of jumpers, and I think he had 10 points in like the first 12 minutes. Does it feel like that's is that your second team? They got Tyler Nickel. They got your boy Jalen Washington. Like, they have a lot of guys that have connections to your Tar Heels.
It's not my second team, and I don't believe in them. And I don't think that Auburn was, the win you build a resume on. And I'm sorry, Vanderbilt fans. You guys lack size and athleticism. But I'm happy for Jalen Washington. I've always believed in Jalen Washington. He can be a heck of a player. I just don't think that they're a real contender. And you know what? Come at me. That's just, me coming on here. But I think that you guys did come a little bit down to earth, and you were the team that I thought you were for a little bit. But, they've had some good wins, and I'm curious to see what happens come tournament time with this Vandy team.
T, I love how you just like the bluntness, right? Like, there's no BS. It's just like, T, what do you think of, like, they had this great win. They just go on the road to beat Arkansas. Yeah, it's a great win, but like, you still kind of suck.
But Tyler's right. I mean, the second best team right now in the SEC is Kentucky.
Yeah,
second best team.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's just like,
no, Tyler's out. Who's the second best team in the SEC, Tyler?
In the SEC?
In the SEC.
I think Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas, I would put Arkansas there. I'd put Florida there. Those are the top two teams to me.
Arkansas and Florida. Okay. Well, Florida.
You have Kentucky as your top. You have Florida as your top two teams. I meant
Florida's
Kentucky.
the best team in the league.
You said
Florida's
Kentucky is the top.
Everybody.
No, I have no debate. I misspoke. But Kentucky,
second team, best team in the league.
I think I would probably go there too, to be honest. But I think it's close. Like, I don't think that there really is. I think it's Florida, and then there's like 7 teams that are all kind of in the same conversation. But I'm
jumbled up.
Yeah.
Did you see what Vanderbilt did to Kentucky?
Yeah. Did you see what Kentucky did to Arkansas? All right, let's do it.
There we go. BBN. Yeah. You're chiming in. BBN.
Speaking of Kentucky, Tyler, this question is specifically for you. It's a video question sent in from Matt Jones of KSR. So give this a listen.
Tyler Hansbrough's a hater, though. He needs to.
He's funny, though.
Why is he such a hater? He almost came here like he acts like if Tubby wasn't the coach, he wasn't coming. He was coming. If Roy Williams stays at Kansas, Tyler Hansbrough would have played here, and you can tell him I said that. So stop being such a hater.
First of all, let me chime in first. Tyler Hansbrough was coming to Florida if Roy Williams wasn't at North Carolina. Okay? Let's set the record straight.
You listen. Florida was way before Kentucky, but I will say, I consider Kentucky heavily, but if Roy Williams was still at Kansas, I would have gone to Kansas. It didn't matter. I didn't go to Carolina. I went to play for Coach Williams, so that's where I would have ended up.
Fair enough.
Well, why are you
Fair
a Kentucky hater?
Why am I hating?
know why.
Because their fans are delusional. Every single you say something remotely negative towards Kentucky, you get overloaded with everyone that thinks they're Phil Jackson on their fan base, and it builds a fuel inside of me, and it just fires me up a little bit. But you know what, Kentucky fans are passionate, and I kind of like this. I kind of like this back and forth a little bit too.
Yeah, well, that's what I said to him. I was like, I think Tyler just enjoys bickering with people. Like, I think he just enjoys the argument. So, like, if he can say something ridiculous and it's going to make people argue with him, I think he just finds enjoyment in that. And you pick out the fan bases that have the most lunatics. So if you say something crazy, you're going to get the most response. Am I right or am I right?
And that is true. And I will say this. I will give Kentucky fans credit. They make me laugh more than any other fan base. The comments and the reactions that they give me to a lot of the breakdowns and what I say about Kentucky is absolutely hilarious.
All right. There we have it. Dagan, what else we got?
All right, fellas, into the chat. Sam wants to know, who do you guys have winning the Big 12?
Ooh. Actually,
you know what's so hard about this right now? You know what's so hard about this? If you look at the rest of the schedule, right, and just who plays each other. Arizona's got Texas Tech, BYU, Houston, Kansas, Iowa State left. Houston's got Iowa State, Arizona, Kansas left. Kansas still has to play Iowa State, Houston, Arizona. Like they all play each other. They all play each other. So we get round robins. And I still think it's probably going to be Arizona, personally. But if you wanted to tell me Houston, I'd probably buy it. If you wanted to make the argument that it's Kansas, I'd probably buy it. I don't think I can get to Iowa State at this point, but I think it's going to be the rest of the year in the Big 12 is going to be the best basketball that we're going to see in college basketball this year. And they're going to be barn burners and they're going to be unbelievable matchups. And I just can't wait. It's going to, I'm so excited about the Big 12. I'm so jealous that Goodman's going to the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's Houston. I think when you look at Arizona's schedule coming down the stretch, I'm not saying Houston has a more favorable schedule, but they've won it every year since they've been in the league. I don't think it changes this year. And think about Arizona. They've got Texas Tech, BYU, at Houston, at Baylor, Kansas again, and then Iowa State. I'm leaning towards Houston just in terms of winning this league. Arizona's schedule to me, I think they drop a couple of these games.
T, who you got?
I'm going to roll with Houston. I'm with McCall on this. Even though, I mean, it's a coin flip, Arizona, Houston, but I'm going to give Houston the edge. I picked him as my national champion preseason as well. But, I do like the depth and the guard play from Houston. Flemings, Emmanuel Sharp, Usman. I think that tandem, they're going to get you some buckets, and I think the way that they play defense and their experience is going to take over.
Yep. Dagan?
All right, next one from Anthony. Do you think Louisville can reach a 4 seed? So for context, they're a 7 seed right now. They have a neutral site game against Baylor, away game at SMU, at North Carolina, at Clemson, at Miami. All their quad 1 chances left.
No, that's not enough. They'd have to win the ACC tournament, pretty much win out and win the ACC tournament and beat Duke along the way. I think it's the only way they'd be able to do it. To get to a 4 seed from where they are right now. But for the record, you don't want me answering that. You want Joey Brackets, aka Matty Brackets, aka BKA McCall Brackets. What are we calling you?
Yeah, I have a
McCall
better
Matrix?
chance. I have a better chance of winning the luge, which I'm watching right now. Like, first of all, just laying on a sled and going down this course. Are you kidding me? I mean, like, it's unbelievable. This is the most dangerous sport. They're insane.
Why do you? All right, I get a real question for you guys. No, they can't get to a 4. That's the answer. I got a real question for you guys.
No, they can't.
How the hell do you figure out that what you're going to do for your life is train to be like a bobsledder or to do the luge? Like, where does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, just lay down on a sled and have some fun. I don't know.
Have you ever met somebody that's done it?
I mean, that's what it is. They just lay down and like shoot me out.
But like, how do you like? Look, you want to play basketball?
I don't know.
You go to the gym and you work out.
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
I can tell you, I went out to Park City, Utah, and I went on the bobsled course, and I did the bobsled, and it was a roller coaster. I don't understand how they, the luge and these one-man sleds, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I was terrified for my life. I can understand why there's so many accidents.
Did you have a team?
I don't understand.
Were you like part of a team?
No, I was out there with my family, and they had this, one guy who I miss you pay a few bucks and they'll put you in the bobsled, and then they have this guy that controls the thing. You're in a hell of a vulnerable state sitting in the back of that bobsled. My big ass, you fall down. There's a lot of there's a lot of bad things that can happen if that thing tips over. But the jerk and the way that thing, it's like you're inside of a missile going through a little,
it's like being inside of a. It's like if you put yourself in a sardine can and then put yourself in a washing machine. That's what it's like.
100%.
Yeah. McCall, you mentioned the luge. Here's my question for you. Have you seen the double
it right now?
Do you know what the double luge?
That's a thing?
Yeah. Look at the picture. Look at the picture on our group chat.
Hey, McCall, you might be into this one.
Next question.
Here's my question, McCall. You have to pick one person from the field of 68 to do the double luge. Who's your double luge partner?
No, this is not an Olympic sport. There's no way this is an Olympic sport. There's no way.
Dagan, put that picture up. But can you put that picture on screen? Put that picture on screen.
No way.
So
are you kidding?
It's so funny. It's for the people at home. Imagine being on a wide open sled and it's two people in Olympic gear literally laying on top of each other. They're just laying on top of each other on their backs.
But like watching this sport, like, how is this athletic? Like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
I mean, you have to be.
How did you come up with the? Who came up with the double luge?
I have no idea. Like, what? Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? Laying on top of each other. I said this is the pre-show, but I love that. Like, the Winter Olympics you have people that are like skating on axe blades, right? Doing like triple flips, and you have people going 90 miles an hour down these like cement iced over luge tracks, and then you have people going and literally flying off of mountains on skis, and then you got curling. Like, you got all of this stuff where you could literally die doing it, and then you got a bunch of guys with big rocks and brooms, and that's in the same category as like going out and doing a triple axel while you're figure skating. I don't understand how that happened. Who invented curling is a good question.
They've got a curling course in Durham.
Do they?
I've never done. I've heard it's pretty fun.
Yeah, who needs pickleball? Let's go curling.
Yeah,
He's like, you went too far.
I'm
You
intrigued.
went too far. You went too far. What else we got, Dagan?
All right. Well, we're already off the rails, so we'll keep it off the rails. Trevor sent me a few questions in. McCall, get ready for these. I think Tyler knows where they might be going. Here we go. Tyler, is Bigfoot single, or is there a Mrs. Bigfoot who's just better at hiding? Obviously, we've discussed that Bigfoot lives in a secret dimension. So where's
It's not
Mrs.
a secret
Bigfoot?
dimension.
Sorry, the third dimension.
Tyler, I read the article, man. I did my research. He's multidimensional. That's why it's so hard to find. And that's why every time there's a sighting, there's some kind of like electrical occurrence because he's going through dimensions. That's why you don't see him all that often.
We finished
I would
third
have to.
in the league. We finished third. Finished third.
McCall, do you believe in Bigfoot?
No, I don't. Not at all.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, I think there's something else out there. Yeah, I do. Yeah, 100%.
See, we think it's kind of intertwined. We think there could be another dimension. We're just living in one, and these aliens and these Bigfoots, they have the ability to switch in between these dimensions. It's not so far-fetched. You need to do your research. And do I think there's a Mrs. Bigfoot? I don't know. I don't know how barbaric they are. I'm not sure if we're going to narrow them down to a committed relationship. They may just be like a lot of other animals just out there getting after it. And that's why we have so many Bigfoots out there. So, McCall, you need to look into this third dimension. Hey, you laugh now. Read the article. I need to send you the research.
I'm telling you, man. McCall, it'll convince you. It'll convince you. I'm in. Me and Tyler are going to go on a Bigfoot hunt when we're in Indianapolis.
I can't wait. Can't wait. I'll be there. What's the next question?
Let's go. No, seriously. That's gonna be a new Field of 68 show. We're going out, we're looking for Bigfoot. You with us?
No, I hope it's warm enough to play golf. And
What if I promise that I have a cooler with ice down Coors Lights in?
Ooh.
Yeah, you're in.
Now you're in type. Yeah.
You just gotta
have some Coors with you.
Yeah, we got Coors
Let's
Lights.
go.
Let's go. We'll go find
Some
Bigfoot.
Coors.
We'll drink some Coors Light and we'll go find Bigfoot. It doesn't get better than that. Go ahead, Dagan.
I did forget one question in the chat. I missed it. From BB Minded. He wants to know what team/program has to win it this year. Basically now or never.
Is it Purdue? I kind of feel like it's Purdue.
Like now or never, like that's hard to say. Like all the success that Purdue has had, I would not put that on them. I would not.
But
if there's
an
one
outlier?
team that's getting ready to lose, I mean that would be the team, right?
Who?
Purdue. With what they're getting ready to
Yeah.
lose. I mean they're losing all these guys.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I just feel like Nebraska needs to capitalize on, the run they're having. I mean, I just don't, they have no tournament wins, I don't think, and this is the best team they've had in a while.
They gotta start small, like win a game of the tournament, and then we can talk about winning a title. Let's get to the first weekend, and then we can talk about winning a title for them.
That's right.
I think Gonzaga too, and the reason I say Gonzaga is because I don't know how much longer Mark Few is going to be doing this. And whenever they do eventually have to replace Mark Few, I don't know if there is anybody else that could keep that thing going the way that it's going in Spokane, Washington. Does that make sense? Like he's turned that into an absolute juggernaut. And they're always going to be good because they're Gonzaga. But if we're talking about like national championship, top 5, top 10 of the country good, I don't know how many other coaches are out there that can maintain that level. And I'm not saying he's retiring this year, but I don't think that Mark Few is going to be there for 5 more years. Do you think if he was gone by 2030, I don't think anyone would be that surprised by it. So,
Hey, Dauster, does Gonzaga have the NIL money? Is that a sustainable issue, or are they
Yeah,
going to
they
be
do.
kind of out of them? Okay.
it's not. They're never going to be at the level that like Kentucky is, but they'll be at a competitive level, and they tend to get guys that will be there for a little while longer. Like, I don't think that they're reloading their roster every single year. I think that they'll be able to. If you're going to Gonzaga, you're going there for more than just like 1 year and a paycheck for the most part. Me and Rap, you got nothing else? No more Bigfoot questions?
Nope, I'm
No more
good.
Bigfoot.
I actually do have one, but McCall kind of answered it already, so I'm just gonna.
What was that?
It was what's more likely? There's a Bigfoot roaming in the forest or an alien in Area 51. So McCall.
100% is an alien. 100%. 1,000% alien. 1,000%. Come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Do you need me to close the show out? You need me?
You're the
to do
host.
your
That's
job?
what we're waiting for. You took over.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
the
I'm just
host.
saying. For Rob Dauster, I'm Matt McCall, Tyler Hansbrough, legend at UNC. This is the Field of 68 After Dark signing off. You know we are on here every single night. Sometimes we have to stay later than other nights, which drives me a little bit nuts. But for content in terms of college hoops, nothing better. See you guys tomorrow.